Hello, booktube. Well, it's a bleak and barren Sunday. That's the end of a bleak and barren Sunday. And for those of you who might not know what I'm talking about, that's my name for Sundays, because on Sundays alone, of all the days of the week, I get no books in the mail. No pitter-patter of little feet out in the front hall. No plop, plop, plop packages through the mail slot. Nothing. To make do with the paltry number of books I have here already. And usually I console myself with a tag. I'm going to do that right now. And it's the YouTube Confessions tag, which I saw recently on Ben Sanders' channel. And he didn't tag me because he hates me because I smell. So I'm tagging myself. And it's a bunch of questions that I think he hypothesizes this tag probably originated ages ago as a beauty and grooming channel tag. And he repurposed it a bit for BookTube, and I think he's probably right about that. And the first question is, how many hours a week do you spend editing and filming? And I don't edit my videos, and the filming, it's the amount of time per week that it takes is exactly the cumulative amount of time if you rack up the videos. I like to do 3 videos a day. But even if I do one a day, it's just, the 20 minutes, and then that's it. And then I upload it. But I'm doing other stuff while I upload it. I upload it to YouTube straight from the MacBook Pro, and I don't pay attention till it's finished. So I'm not hovering. I'm off writing. So I don't do anything. I'm not just wasting that time. Question number 2, are you a spender or a saver, specifically in terms of BookTube? I assume that means on equipment. And I've never bought a piece of equipment specifically for BookTube, and I don't fancy that I ever will. I briefly flirted with the idea of getting a camera, and then thought, no. I briefly flirted with the idea of getting a microphone. But when I looked into it, the thing that I was thinking a microphone would do, the thing that I was thinking would make it worthwhile when I was filming on my phone, would be that I would get a little thing that would plug into the phone's jack and simply augment the sound. And that it would all happen straight into the phone the way my spoken audio does. That's what I assumed. That's what would happen. Instead, no, the YouTube videos are all about audio tracks and syncing and whatnot, so I immediately put the kibosh on that. Never bought a book because of BookTube. Nothing like that. So I'm a saver, I guess. I don't spend any money on BookTube. In fact, the only money that I spend on BookTube is off camera. I spend about $150 a week mailing books to all of you. That's not part of being a booktuber, though. As Ben says in his video, and I want to stress again here, none of that is part of being a booktuber. You don't need anything except something to make a video with. So you also don't need the latest books. All you need is your passion for books. That's all. It could be something out of the library. Just go to town. If you're interesting, if you're passionate enough to be interesting, then people will watch, and it won't matter that you didn't spend any money. Question number 3, who is your YouTube crush? Again, I think this applies to BookTube. And with me, the answer is someone who's not on BookTube anymore. His name is Ghost. He had a lot of personality. I miss him. Hang on a second. Okay, on we go. Question number 4. Who are your favorite booktubers? This is a long list. In fact, it's actually an impossible list, because I have a favorite booktuber for almost everything. Right? I have each booktuber is my favorite booktuber at being themselves, at being that booktuber. So the list could be infinite. But I've jotted down names, of course. For instance, there's the BookTube royalty, Ariel Bissett, Simon Savage, Jen Campbell, the mighty Francina Simone. These people, Eric Carl Anderson, these channels that you can't do without. So, of course, I listed them. Olive, at a book Olive. Where would we all be without Olive at a book Olive? And then newer channels. Insert literary pun here. Jennifer, insert literary pun here. Adam, of course. Remember when Memento Mori made videos? Britta. Adding a touch of class to our Mongol assembly. And also one, I mean, this is just an abbreviated list, I could go on and on, but one booktuber with whom I overlap with Ben would be Cam at Wolfshot Publishing, who's I get the distinct impression. I mean, he makes great videos. I get the distinct impression that he makes great videos, even though a lot of times he has a lot of other stuff to do, which is no small thing. And on top of which, he recently took into his household a kitten, and it wasn't an accident. He's Team Cat. So I'm not going to hold that against him either. So let's just move on. Question number 5. How long do you spend getting ready every day? Again, if we repurpose this and say booktube, how long do you do? It depends, like Ben said, it depends on the video. If I'm going to open books and opine about them, read them, showcase them to you, then I don't require any preparation whatsoever, except to make sure that the lighting is as good as I can do it, make sure the angle's right, make sure the scissors are visible, make sure that Frida, well, I can't actually make Frida be in the video. She just likes being near me, so she tends to be in videos a lot. If it's a video in which I want to make points, cogent points, and I want to talk about something, then it takes me a little longer because I need to get ready. I don't really have a script, but I will jot down notes just to make sure that I'm following in the right order and that I'm not missing anything. And I strongly advise the rest of you to do the same. Don't get on camera with an idea in your head and expect it to stay in your head for 15 minutes while you talk it out. Instead, jot down some notes or mentally prepare yourself. Mentally get yourself ready for what you want to say and how you want to say it. I'm not saying that it has to be artificial. I'm not saying that it has to be a teleprompter. What I'm saying is the one difference between, we all talk about how, we're just friends here, and that's true, and that's the glory of BookTube. The one difference between face-to-face friendship and what we're doing here is that because you're talking to a camera, this is, at least in part, a performance. You're sculpting what you want to say so that you don't waste your viewers' time. Because, as much as we like to say we're all friends here, I keep wanting to say 1,000 subscribers, but I have more than 1,000 subscribers. I am not friends with all of those people. Some of them are just here to hear me, not because of their friend, Steve. Despite the fact that I've gotten to know a lot of you, hundreds of you, by mailing you books, still, it's true that a lot of strangers watch these videos, and that means I have an audience, and so do you. And if you have an audience, that means you have to prepare. That means you can't just get on camera and say, I forget where I was going with that. Anyway, so in terms of how long do you spend getting ready, it changes from video to video. It's never very long, but it changes from video to video. Question number 6, what's one thing you're excited about for the coming year? Again, if we restrict this to BookTube, then it would be hitting video number 2,000, which is it's going to happen in 2018, probably sooner rather than later. And I don't know what I'm going to do to mark the occasion. I'm fairly sure that even booktubers who have been on BookTube since the beginning, since 2006 or 2007, I'm fairly certain that no one connected with BookTube has ever made 2,000 videos. I wasn't completely sure about that for 1,000 videos, but 2,000? We'll see. But when we get closer to the day, I'll do more research and I'll think more about it. But that's one thing coming up for 2018, and of course I'm thinking about video number 2,000. Question number 7, what's your most awkward filming moment? I don't have any myself. My most awkward filming moment is the occasional time when guests aren't as comfortable on camera as I am. I've had that happen. I've had it happen where we filmed a video and then I couldn't upload it because they weren't happy with it. I've had it happen where an extremely bookish person filmed a mail haul with me and then wouldn't let me upload the video because during the course of a 20-minute mail haul, 10 books or 7 books or whatever, they barely said a word. And I wanted to tell them that's okay. The words you said were worth it, but no, that's been awkward. Not everybody is cut out to just be comfortable on camera immediately. A lot of people, it takes practice. Those of you who are considering whether or not you are comfortable enough on camera to start a BookTube channel, I stress it takes practice. Not everybody can just do it right off the cuff, but with practice, you will get comfortable. We're gonna come back to that later in this tag. Question number 8, how are you dressed? Again, betraying probably the the beauty and grooming origins of this tag, if you must know. I'm wearing a Penguin Classics t-shirt, a red emblem-free sweatshirt that I got at the Goodwill, and a pair of white socks. And nothing else. But you knew that when you married me. Question number 9. What are you most proud of in your life? And here the question doesn't admit of fine-tuning. It states its own parameters. In your life, what are you most proud of? So not in terms of booktube. If we were to narrow it to booktube, then I would say what I'm most proud of is this community that we've built up, that I've had a hand in building up, and that I'm so happy about. I'm so happy to know you all and to get to talk to you every day. And it took some effort on both parts. You to get used to me, and me to get used to you. So, but if you're saying what am I most proud of in my life, then it doesn't have anything to do with books at all. It doesn't have anything to do with a publication record that's fairly robust. It doesn't have anything to do with blurbs or anything ridiculous like that. You're talking about what you're most proud of in your life. We're talking about essentials here, I would assume. And what I'm most proud of in my life is a very, very long string of happy dogs. Or even unhappy dogs whose unhappiness was pampered from beginning to end. Literally, from squalling little blind puppy all the way to the end, stiff and sore and frightened and incontinent. Every step of the way, that whole enormous arc, over and over and over again. I do all sorts of things wrong in my life. I've screwed up all kinds of human relationships, but that I do right, and I do it with a lot of care. So the fact that it's never gone wrong, the fact that people see my dogs, have seen my dogs forever, and said, well, okay, this one might be a trifle nervous, but he's obviously happy. I mean, he's pleased with living with you. And then there have been the vast majority of them that weren't nervous, that weren't insane, that were just really happy to live with me. And who were, when they stopped being happy, when they started being consumed with infirmity or pain, still got to live. Whereas I volunteer at an animal shelter, I know perfectly well that that's a death sentence for most dogs. Most owners aren't quite as empathetic as you would like them to be. I am with my dogs right to the end. So that's, of course, what I'd be most proud of in my life, the lives that I have helped. But I guess that's where I have to leave the answer, because the question really is open-ended. So let's just move on. Question number 10, what makes talking in front of a camera comfortable? That's an easy one, and that's forgetting that it's a camera, or in this case, a laptop. Just the easy thing about making comfortable is just thinking about all of you. I email with you, I mail you books, I get credit slips at the Brattle from you. We occasionally, haltingly, and better in time, try the Voxer. We email, we text. I quickly, almost immediately, forget about the camera. And if you're thinking about starting a booktube channel and you're worried that you're going to be self-conscious on camera, I'm here to tell you, you too will forget. It's like I was mentioning earlier, it will become completely natural for you to do. And you should. But I'll be talking all about that in the later video. And then question number 11, what is your worst filming habit? And you know, a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I would have said my worst filming habit was my tendency to go off on digressions and rants. But you all appear to love it. So, I've lost count of how many comments I've got, how many texts and emails I've got saying I'm mainly here for the rants. So, I don't know what that's all about, but that would be my... I don't follow my own advice from earlier in the tag, always. I don't stay on point, mainly because it's excusable. I'm excusing myself mainly in this case because it mainly happens on book hauls when I'm opening packages of books and I don't know what's in them. And part of the fun of that is reacting to it. I grant some of my reactions go on long, but still, I guess that would be a bad filming habit, but I don't want to change it. So, and then that's it. That is the YouTube confessions tag, which is just the kind of knows about your business tag that I love. I wish there were more of them. There probably are that just haven't been converted to booktube. All that's left for me to do is tag people. I have a bunch of people I want to tag. I want to tag, let's see here. familiar names, but I'll try to remember this time to leave them linked down below. There are Richardson Reads, Curtis Books and Films, Lukash at his channel, Peg, of course, the Medieval Reader, Rachel Morrow, Paperback Junkie, Steve Partridge. I want to hear your answers to all of these things. You're all YouTubers now, so let's have a confessional. But in the meantime, as usual, chatting about a tag has taken my mind off my bleak and barren Sunday, which is almost over anyway. I've got a sleepy puppy to, to make it even easier. I'll just read all night long. But in the meantime, I'll wrap up for now, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.